Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Soro Digital Learning. Students, today we'll see lesson number 15, Life Processes in Living Organisms. Life processes in living organisms under Science 2. Okay, so let's start now. Whatever omitted part is there, we are not going to take that part. So listen the video very properly. Okay. Energy and oxygen are both transported via blood throughout the body. Oxygen which we inhale and energy which we gain from the food, these both oxygen and energy are both transported via blood. So blood is the medium for the transportation of oxygen and energy throughout the body. Okay. Then we see about the transportation. By the process of transportation, a substance either synthesized or absorbed in one of the part of the body reaches another. So because of only transportation, the energy or the oxygen moves to all the parts of the body, that is the tissues or the cells, for the purpose of synthesization. Now we will see about the transportation in plants. Plants need inorganic substances like nitrogen, phosphorus, magnesium, manganese, sodium, etc. Inorganic means that doesn't contain carbon. Okay. Soil is the nearest and richest source of these substances. Actually, usually soil contains these all elements: phosphorus, magnesium, manganese, nitrogen, all the things. And as the plant roots are attached to the soil, so soil is the nearest and richest source of these elements: nitrogen and magnesium, phosphorus, etc. Roots of plants absorb these substances from the soil and transport them. So roots absorb these all elements and transport them to the whole part of the plant. There are specific types of tissues to perform this function. The xylem conducts the water, whereas the phloem conducts the food. So this xylem is a tissue in the plant. Which transports water, and phloem is the another tissue of the plant which conducts the food in the plant. Now the next one. See here, root cells are in contact. Root of the plant and the cells of the root are in contact with water and minerals in the soil. As soil contains water also and minerals too, water and minerals enter the cells on the root surface due to differences in concentration. Actually, concentration level of the root cells and the mineral and the soil is different. So because of this change in the concentration level, the root cells absorb the water and soil into the root. As a result, these cells become turgid. Turgid means strong, or you may say like a solid. These turgid cells exert pressure on the adjacent cells. Shorter cells are there nearby to the another cell. Adjacent means near to. This is called root pressure. So the root pressure is what, beta? It is when the turgid cells exert pressure to the adjacent cell, it is known as a root pressure. Now the next part is transpiration pull. Okay. See now here, during transport in the plant, transportation of water and food, plants give out water in the form of vapor through the stomata on their leaves. So small holes on the leaf of a plant are known as stomata, and through this stomata the vapors are given out. Two cells called guard cells are present around the stomata. So around stomata there are guard cells. You can see a guard cells picture. These cells control the opening and closing of stomata. So the function of closing and opening of the stomata will be performed by the guard cell. Transpiration occurs through these stomata. So transpiration occurs through the stomata of the leaf, which allows to enter the CO2 into the leaf and gives out oxygen in the form of vapor. This was about the transpiration pool. Now the next is transportation of food and other substances in plants. Transportation of food and other substances in plants. The food produced in leaves is transported to each cell in the plant body. So whatever food is prepared is produced in the leaf, that is given to the whole part or all the cells of the plant body. Excess food except amino acids is stored in roots. So excess food energy will be stored in the roots, fruits and seeds. This process is called translocation of materials. It is carried out in both the upward and the downward directions by the phloem. Phloem, just now we have seen, it is a tissue for conducting the food. Translocation of materials is not a simple physical process. It requires energy. This energy is obtained from ATP. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. So they get the energy for performing this function. Which function? Translocation of food and other substances in plants. Okay. Now the next part is excretion. Excretion means throwing out waste from the plant. Okay. See here, removal of waste or harmful substances from the body is called excretion. It's a very nice definition. Short. Removal, throwing out of waste or harmful substances from the body is called excretion. In unicellular organisms, waste materials are directly eliminated across the cell surface, whereas the process of excretion in multicellular organisms is complex. If the organism is unicellular, made with a single cell, so the activity will be carried out within itself of excretion. But if it is multicellular, plants are multicellular, so this procedure is very complex of excretion. Now the next thing is excretion in plants. There is no special organ or system for excretion in plants as animals. Gaseous substances are given out by diffusion. So the excreta is what of the plant? That is the CO2 gas. Most of the waste substances of plants are stored in vacuoles. Vacuoles is a place where the excreta is being stored, and vacuoles are in the cell of a plant, of leaf cells, and in flowers, fruits and the bark of the stem. So excreta may be in the form of gaseous state or maybe in the form of other. So the other form will be stored in the fruit, flower and the bark of the stem, and even in the vacuoles. So these are the places where the excreta is being stored. Now the next part is excretion in human beings. See here, as we have respiratory system, digestion system, the same importance is there for the excretion in the human beings. Various waste materials are formed during this process, during excretion. Removal of these waste from the body is very important, and it is excretory system that carries out this function. So which system carries out this excretory system? Excretory system carries out this function of removing out of the waste. The human excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys. Just keep in the mind which organs are working for this excretory system. Pair of kidneys, a pair of uterus, the urinary bladder and the urethra. Urine is formed by the kidneys by separating the waste and unwanted excess substances from the blood. So you can see this in the adjoining figure, this figure. pair of kidneys, ureter, bladder, urethra. Now the next part is, see students, omitted part we are not taking. Now dialysis of blood. Dialysis means artificially the blood is purified by using a machine. Okay, the blood is taken from the patient and it is being purified in the machine and again given out in the body again. That is the purified blood. If kidneys fail, nitrogenous wastes are separated from the blood with the help of a man-made machine, dialysis machine. The process of separating the nitrogenous wastes from blood with the help of this machine is called dialysis. So it is simply removal of the nitrogenous waste from the blood using a machine, and the process is known as the dialysis. About 500 ml of blood is sent at one time through this machine. Purified blood is reinfused into the body of the patient. So after the process, after the purification in the machine, the blood is again transferred into the body of the patient. Okay, and this is a continuous process. Continuously the blood is sucked from the syringe and given into the body of the patient. Now here coordination. Coordination means different organs work together under the control of the brain. If I am to move this pencil over here, so my fingers will work, my hand will work. So this is a coordination between the finger, hand and the brain and the eyes. Okay, this is coordination, working together of the organ for performing any task is a coordination, and it is a must. Now the next part is coordination in plants. Plants do not have systems like the nervous system. Human beings have a nervous system for the purpose of coordination, but plants do not have the nervous system or muscular system. We have the muscles, we have the muscular system of animals. Then how do plants bring about movements? In plants, movements are mainly in the form of responses given to the stimuli. Okay, now just understand this. There are few plants, if you touch them, they really means they contract. You might have heard the name of the plant. See here, there is one picture of this. Okay, here, touch me not. In Hindi, the name is Marathi Lazalu. Okay, the name of this plant. If you touch the leaf of this, they really contract. Okay, no? Otherwise, a simple example is of the sunflower. Sunflower always faces the side towards the sun. Yeah. So this is the responsiveness to stimuli. These are the various plants. Venus flytrap. They catch the insect. When the insect is going in this part of the plant, they just catch, they just contract. So these both are the examples of responsiveness to stimuli. Now the next part of the chapter is about the coordination in human being. See here, for the coordination purpose there must be a system. The system is known as a nervous system, and there is a nervous system is there will be a presence of the neuron cells. There will be a presence of the neuron cells. These neuron cells will pass the impulses, the data from different parts of the body to the brain, and the brain will process the data, and again the impulses will be passed from the brain to the different parts of the body. See this example. Suppose suddenly if you see a snake in front of you, so your eyes will give the report to the brain. Yeah, so eyes will give the report means neuron cells will give the report to the brain that in front of you there is a snake. So this data has gone through the neurons. Neuron is a cell to the brain. So as soon as the data is being detected in the brain, so brain will give the order to the different parts of the body, usually to the legs, to run from that place. Yeah. So through neurons, the impulses are collected from data is collected from different parts of the body to the brain, and from brain to the different parts of the body. It's a nerve cell. So there is a nervous system for completing the task of coordination. Under nervous system there are neurons or nerve cells. There are crores of neurons which passes the impulses. Then there is next one is about the types of nerve cells or neurons. Sensory neurons. Sensory neurons conducting impulses from sensory organs like skin, ear, eyes and different to the brain and the spinal cord. Motor neurons. Motor neurons conduct impulses from the brain or spinal cord to effector organs like muscles or glands. Association neurons. Association neurons perform the function of integration in the nervous system. So these are the three types of nerve cells or the neurons: sensory, motor and association. The human nervous system. The human nervous system is divided into the following three parts: central nervous system, that is a CNS; peripheral nervous system, that is a PNS; and autonomic nervous system, ANS. See here now, CNS, that is the central nervous system. The central nervous system consists of the brain and spinal cord. So central nervous system is made up of brain and the spinal cord. Now see here important diagram of the structure of brain. This part is the cerebrum, which is the biggest part of the brain. Cerebellum, smallest part, and there is a spinal cord, and this is the small part, medulla oblongata. The brain of an adult human weighs about 1300 to 1400 grams and consists of approximately 100 billion neurons. See the number of neurons present in the just brain. The left side of our brain controls the right side of our body, and right side of our brain controls left side of the body. So left part is controlled by the right brain, and right part of the body is controlled by the left brain.